Hello, today I'm at Burntwood and I'm visiting the cemetery for the asylum that used to be here, which has long since closed, and most of the gravestones are now gone. There are 9 Commonwealth War graves here and a few of the original markers, which I'll show you in a moment. But it's really a very sad place, although very beautiful. About 10 years ago it was going to be turned into a remembrance garden, but that doesn't seem to have happened. The ground's still quite uneven, there's no benches or anything like that, so maybe the plans fell by the wayside. But it's a beautiful place, and I think it's really important to honour the people who died here and were buried here, whose names are not shown on the stones, only on the military ones that the Commonwealth War Graves Commission has done. So we're on the corner of, I think it's St Matthew's Road and Coulter Lane. And I'm looking now into the graveyard. I don't know if you can make it out at all, but in this area here, for example, there's some very collapsed soil. And if it was a memorial garden, there is no way they would have left it like that. So my apologies for any raindrops on the screen. It's raining quite heavily now, and I think I'll try and come back another time, but let me see what I can show you for now. The soldiers who came here, mostly World War I, but also I think World War II. So here's the first of the graves here, the 9. J.B. Massey of the Army Veterinary Corps, who died in 1920. This is driver J. Davis of the Royal Army Service Corps, also died in 1920. They're very hard to read. What does that say? This one looks like something Sutton. And he is Royal Field Artillery. Over here we have T. Woolley, looks like, Royal Garrison Artillery. I have got a list of these, but I'm not going to get it out now because there's just too much rain. This is Private W.H. Startin of the Royal Marine Engineers. This is J.F. Craddock of the 89th Training Reserve Battalion. These are all First World War. 1918 he died. And the last 2, J. McGuiness of the Worcestershire Regiment, who died in 1917. And Private S. Ager, that looks like, Ager, Somerset Light Infantry, also died in 1919. So, all First World War. It was my understanding that people came here after the Second World War as well. I think they had some Dunkirk veterans hospitalised here for a while. The area around the war graves has been mowed for easier access, but it's the only part that has been mowed here. The rest of it has been left long grass, which makes it extra difficult to navigate around. Around some of the trees you'll find stones like these. Some are clearer than others, but they have a series of numbers on them. I haven't found any apart from the war graves that have names on them. So we're going to head over there to that tree, which has quite a few more stones around it. So around this tree we have more. Somebody has left a little bouquet of artificial flowers there. Here's a nice clear example. So we have 438 F 12104 7116 10160. Now my theory is that 438 is the plot number, F is for female, and the 3 numbers beneath are 3 people who were buried in that plot. That seems to make sense. Here's another example, very much the same, 318 F, and then the 3 numbers, which I presume are the identification numbers, 9826, 5437 and 9237. And they all seem to follow the same format. Here's another one here, 317, one here for 397, 395. I'm sorry about all the rainy marks on them, making them hard to read. And this one is 434F, 12343, 13873 and 3407. Here's another example of a collapsed grave. It's really quite deep. Ooh. It's possible that there was a tree there that fell, but the whole graveyard is very uneven. Yes, here's another one with the same format, 392 F, 11326, 11643 and 11633. And some of these are partly buried now. Here's one that's buried. Really hard to see. And that's number 393, I think. Another one here, 388, I think that one is. So there we go, this is the far corner. I'm going to walk all the way down here, just in case there's any that are hiding behind the trees. But I think I've found them all now. Really is very sad to see. Cat's jumping over. I've got very wet feet now. I'm not going to film to my left because it's private property, but that's where the asylum was. You can see an old wall along here with blue brick coping. So I think we've probably found everything there is to see. I have to say, I think my ankles have got a lot stronger while I've been doing these videos, because I used to tip over constantly. But I'm now getting a lot better at staying upright. Well, I hope you've enjoyed coming out with me on this rainy trip. I'm lucky it hasn't bucketed down, but I managed to find pretty much everything I came to find. Now, there are only 4 graves recorded here on Find a Grave, so I'm going to, one of them is one of the Commonwealth War Graves ones, so I'm going to add the other 8 Commonwealth War Graves to Find a Grave when I get home. I was going to do it here, but it's just been too wet and the signal on my phone's been too poor. If I can, I'll give it one more shot before I leave. If I can, I'll put them on today. And then I'll see what I can find out about the other burials here. and the reasons why people were buried here, the sort of things that they were suffering from, particularly the soldiers. I'm fascinated by World War I soldiers, and I can't quite believe that there were only 9 that were buried in this graveyard. Admittedly, some of them will have been taken back to their own homes to be buried. When I say their homes, obviously I mean their parish churches. It's tragic to think how we treated mental health in those days and how difficult it must have been for people who were suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, who were not treated kindly. Some may have been, others unfortunately not.